Welcome. You're about to listen to a very special story. This is not just any story. This is a story full of mystery, secrets, and surprises. But more than that, this story is your English practice. If you can understand this story from beginning to end, that means your English is already 50% better than you think. Yes, really? This story is told in simple, clear English, made especially for English learners. You don't need to know big or difficult words. Just listen carefully and imagine the scenes in your mind. That is how your English will grow naturally. Ashley and Mark are trying to fix their broken marriage. So, they return to the romantic resort where they had their honeymoon. But when they arrive, something strange happens. The staff say they've never seen them before. Even worse, there's proof that Mark was here with another woman. Who is she? And why does Mark look so scared? Welcome to the Second Honeymoon by Amjad, a chilling story of love, lies, and revenge. Let's begin. Ashley and Mark have been married for a few years. But lately, things aren't going well. They argue a lot. There's distance. No romance. So Ashley has an idea. Let's go back, she says. Back to where it all began. Our honeymoon resort. Mark agrees. Maybe a second honeymoon will help. Maybe they can fall in love again. The resort is beautiful. Warm air. Ocean breeze. Everything looks just like they remember. Or so Ashley thinks. But the moment they check in, the staff look confused. We have no record of you staying here before, they say. Ashley laughs it off. Mark stays quiet. A little too quiet. And then comes the shock. The manager shows them a photo. It's Mark. At this resort. Same week. Same year as their honeymoon. But he's not with Ashley. He's with another woman. Who is she? Why was Mark with her at their honeymoon resort? Ashley stares at the photo and says nothing. Ashley keeps looking at the photo in silence. It's a clear picture. Mark is smiling, holding the hand of a woman Ashley has never seen before. They are standing in front of the same beach Ashley remembers. Same hotel. Same date. Same week. But it's not her in the photo. Mark quickly says it's a mistake. He says the picture must be fake. Maybe it's someone who looks like him. But Ashley can tell. He is lying. His face has changed. He is nervous, sweating, and not making eye contact. The staff don't believe him either. The manager even shows them a copy of the old booking. The name is the same, Mark Evans. Same ID number. Same signature. Everything matches. But the woman's name is different. Ashley starts asking questions. She wants to know who the other woman was. The manager says he doesn't remember everything, but the woman was quiet and polite. She didn't talk much. He says she wore a white dress every day, even to dinner. He remembers because it was strange. No one else does that. Ashley listens closely, but says very little. Mark tries to change the topic and asks to go to their room. In the room, Ashley watches Mark carefully. He is pacing, angry, and scared. He keeps saying that the resort is playing a trick. But Ashley knows better. Her husband has been hiding something. She thinks back to all the small things. The late-night phone calls. The trips he took alone. The messages he deleted from his phone. She always had a feeling something was wrong. Now she's sure. Later that night, Ashley pretends everything is fine. She laughs, holds Mark's hand, and says maybe they should forget about the photo. She says they should enjoy their second honeymoon. Mark seems confused, but he relaxes a little. He smiles again. He doesn't know that Ashley already knows the truth. She found something out before they came. Something she didn't tell him. Ashley had done her own research. A few months ago, she found a hotel receipt in one of Mark's old jackets. The name of the resort was on it. The date was from the week of their Real honeymoon. At first, she thought he booked it for her. But the receipt had two names, and one of them wasn't hers. She searched online, and what she found scared her even more. The woman who came with Mark had died. Not long after their stay. At the same resort. It was called an accident. But there were no full reports. No family came forward. Just one photo and a short line in a local news article. Ashley didn't say anything to Mark. She planned this trip to find out more. To see what Mark would do. And now she knows. He's not just a liar. He might be something much worse. Ashley looks at Mark sleeping in the hotel bed. Calm. Trusting. But Ashley is wide awake. She's not here to save the marriage. She's here to finish what the other woman started. The next morning, Ashley wakes up early. She steps out to the hotel garden alone, acting like she just wants some fresh air. But really, she is thinking, planning. She remembers everything she read about the woman who came here with Mark years ago. The woman's name was Lily. She was a school teacher from another city. Not many people knew her, and she didn't have close family. That made her disappearance easier to hide. Ashley also remembers something strange from the news report. Lily was found at the bottom of a cliff near the edge of the resort. People said it was an accident, but there were no proper details. No one saw it happen. Mark told the staff that Lily slipped while taking a photo. It rained that day, so the ground was wet. But Ashley now thinks it was no accident. She walks to the same cliff, quietly. The rocks are sharp, and the sea below looks deep. She tries to imagine what happened. Maybe Mark pushed Lily. Maybe he planned it all. And maybe he thought no one would ever know. Later that day, Ashley returns to the room. Mark is sitting on the balcony, drinking coffee. He looks calm again. He talks about going for a swim or getting a massage. Ashley smiles and agrees. But inside, she is watching every move he makes. She notices how he avoids talking about Lily. He doesn't ask about the photo anymore. He acts like it didn't happen. Ashley suggests they take a walk together. She says she wants to explore the old parts of the resort. Mark agrees. They walk hand in hand, just like old times. People see them and think they are a happy couple. But only Ashley knows the truth. As they walk past the main restaurant, Ashley sees the manager again. She stops to talk. She asks simple questions like how long he's worked there and if he remembers past guests. The manager says he's been there for 10 years. He has seen many couples come and go. But when Ashley brings up Lily's name, his face changes. He says very little. Just that it was a sad time. He quickly ends the conversation and walks away. Mark looks uncomfortable. He says they should keep moving. Ashley agrees, but she now knows that the staff remember more than they say. Back in the room, Ashley opens Mark's suitcase while he's in the shower. She finds a second phone hidden under his clothes. It has a password, but Ashley guesses it after a few tries. It's Lily's birth date, the same date on the hotel receipt she found before. The phone is almost empty. Most messages are deleted. But one folder remains in the photo gallery. Ashley opens it. Inside are photos of Mark and Lily, smiling, holding each other, standing in the exact same places she and Mark visited yesterday. The pool, the cliff, the room balcony. The only difference is the woman beside him. It's not Ashley. Then she finds a voice note. It's short. Just a few seconds. Lily's voice is soft. She says, "I don't feel safe here." Mark is acting strange. The message ends there. Nothing else. Ashley puts the phone back and closes the suitcase. She knows now. Mark did something to Lily, and he might do the same to her. But she's not afraid. In fact, she feels ready. She didn't come here to be the next victim. She came here with a plan of her own. That night, Ashley cooks dinner in the small kitchen attached to their suite. She adds a sleeping pill to Mark's drink. Just one. Enough to make him sleep deeply. He drinks it all, tired from the day, and falls asleep fast. Ashley waits until he is snoring. Then she opens her own bag. Inside is a small notebook. It has everything written down. Details of Lily. Her research. Dates. Times. Copies of hotel receipts. Even the local police officer's name who first saw Lily's body. Ashley wrote it all down over months. She was never confused. She was never here by chance. She looks at Mark one more time, peaceful, unaware, just like Lily might have been. Ashley whispers to herself. She's not just here to get revenge. She's here to make sure Mark never hurts anyone again. The night is quiet. Outside the window, the sea makes a soft, endless sound. Ashley sits beside Mark as he sleeps. She watches his chest rise and fall. He looks peaceful, like a man with no worries. But Ashley knows it is only because he thinks he has gotten away with everything. He doesn't know that the woman beside him has already made a decision. Ashley takes out a pen and a sheet of paper. She begins writing a note. It looks like a goodbye letter from Mark. She copies his handwriting, slowly and carefully. She writes things like, "I'm sorry for what I did," and "I can't live with this guilt anymore." She signs it with his name. She wants to make it look real. Next, she opens her notebook. Inside it, she has a small envelope. It holds something important. A copy of Lily's photo from the resort, the old hotel bill with Mark and Lily's names, and the printout of the article about Lily's death. Ashley puts them all in a second envelope and writes one name on it. To the police. She places this envelope at the bottom of her suitcase. She plans to leave it at the hotel desk after everything is over. Around midnight, Ashley changes her clothes. She wears all black. She doesn't want anyone to notice her. She ties her hair up and puts on soft shoes that don't make any sound. She walks across the room and checks Mark once more. Still sleeping. She takes the room key, phone, and flashlight and leaves the room quietly. She walks through the dark resort, avoiding the security cameras she had seen earlier. She takes the path toward the cliff, the same cliff where Lily died. The air is cold, and the waves hit the rocks below. The place is quiet and dark. Ashley walks slowly, checking everything. She stands near the edge. She tries to understand what happened here. Did Mark push Lily? Did she scream? Did she try to run? Ashley closes her eyes and imagines Lily's last moments. Fear, confusion, betrayal. She feels it all. Ashley looks around and sees something surprising. A small, wooden sign nailed to a tree. It says, "Cliff area closed for repairs. Do not enter." But there is no fence, no lock. Anyone could walk here, just like she did. It means that even now, this place is dangerous, just like it was back then. She returns to the room just before 2 a.m. Mark is still asleep. She hides her black clothes and washes her face. She climbs into bed beside him, pretending nothing happened. But her mind is full of thoughts. She is no longer unsure. She is ready. Now she just needs to choose the right time. The next morning, Mark wakes up with a headache. Ashley acts concerned. She gives him water, rubs his back, and tells him he might have had too much to drink. Mark doesn't remember much from the night. That's good for Ashley. It means her plan is working. During breakfast, Ashley suggests they go for a boat ride. She says the sea looks beautiful today. Mark agrees. He thinks Ashley is finally relaxing. He thinks the second honeymoon is working. Ashley lets him believe it. Later, they go out on a small rented boat. A local man rows them out to a quiet spot. The sun is bright, the water calm. Mark takes pictures. He jokes with Ashley. He seems happy. Ashley smiles back, but inside, she is cold. She is thinking about what to do next. After the boat ride, they return to the hotel. Mark says he wants to take a nap. Ashley uses the time to talk to the hotel staff. She asks about the security cameras. She says she's worried about safety. One of the guards explains where the cameras are and how the recordings work. Ashley listens carefully. She asks questions. She learns that the area near the cliff still doesn't have a camera. It's the only blind spot in the whole resort. That night, Ashley cooks again. Another pill goes into Mark's drink. This time, he falls asleep even faster. Ashley knows that tomorrow will be the day. Everything is ready. The letter, the photos, the plan. All she has to do now is act. As Mark sleeps, Ashley goes to the mirror. She looks at herself. She doesn't see the same woman who came here days ago. She sees someone stronger. Someone who knows what must be done. This isn't just about revenge. It's about justice. Ashley sits on the bed and watches Mark. She whispers to herself, "Tomorrow, he won't wake up in this room. Tomorrow, the past will finally catch up to him." The next morning begins like any other. The sky is clear, the birds are loud, and the resort feels calm. But inside Ashley's mind, everything is sharp and focused. Today is the day. She has gone over her plan many times. She knows every step. Mark stretches and yawns beside her. He says he slept well. He doesn't know about the pill. He doesn't know that Ashley sat awake half the night, preparing. Ashley smiles at him, makes him tea, and acts like the perfect wife. She talks about going for a walk near the cliff. She says the view is too beautiful to miss. Mark agrees. He doesn't see anything strange. He trusts Ashley. Why wouldn't he? She has always been calm, caring, and quiet. He doesn't know that everything she says now has another meaning. Every word she says is part of a plan. After breakfast, they head toward the cliff. Ashley holds Mark's hand. He jokes about taking more pictures. He even says they should visit again next year. Ashley smiles, but her heart is beating faster. She keeps looking ahead. No one else is around. This part of the resort is empty, just like she hoped. When they reach the cliff, Ashley stops. She looks at the sea. It's bright and blue. The waves are soft today, not wild like before. She tells Mark she wants a picture right at the edge. She says she wants to remember this moment forever. Mark walks closer to the edge. He turns around to pose. Ashley lifts the camera. She holds it steady. She takes one photo, then another. Then, slowly, she steps forward and stands beside him. She says something simple. Something like, "It's so peaceful here." And that's when Mark turns to look at her. In that second, Ashley asks, "Did Lily feel peaceful too?" Mark freezes. His smile disappears. His eyes narrow. He doesn't understand at first. But Ashley's face says it all. He tries to speak, but no words come out. Ashley is calm. She says, "I know everything. I know what you did to her." Mark tries to deny it. He says it was an accident. He says Lily slipped. He says he tried to save her. But Ashley has heard these lies before. She knows he's not telling the truth. She sees the fear in his eyes now. He's starting to understand that he's not in control. Ashley steps back. Mark follows, trying to explain. He says he loves her. He says he only wanted to move on. But Ashley isn't listening to the words anymore. She's watching his body, his hands, his face. She's watching how a liar moves. And then, it happens fast. Mark steps too close to the edge. Maybe he wants to prove something. Maybe he wants to scare her. But the rocks are loose. The ground shifts. Mark slips. He grabs at Ashley's arm. But she doesn't move. For a second, their eyes meet. His full of shock. Hers full of silence. Then he falls. Down the side of the cliff. His body disappears into the sea below. Ashley stands still. Her breath is slow. She doesn't scream. She doesn't run. She simply stands there, watching the place where Mark vanished. It is quiet again. Only the wind and water remain. After a few minutes, Ashley walks back toward the resort. She doesn't cry. She doesn't look back. She walks calmly, step by step, like someone who has finished something important. When she reaches the room, she packs her bag. Not in a rush, but carefully. She places the letter, the fake goodbye note, in a place where someone will find it. She also leaves the envelope marked for the police at the front desk, pretending she found it in her husband's bag and thinks they should see it. The hotel staff are worried when she says Mark is missing. A search begins. Boats are sent. Calls are made. Ashley answers all questions calmly. She tells them he went too close to the edge. That he slipped. Just like Lily. People believe her. The story matches. The police take the letter and the evidence. They say it will take days to confirm anything. Ashley nods and waits. But she already knows the end. That night, Ashley sits alone on the balcony. The same place Mark sat just 2 nights ago. She looks at the stars. She doesn't smile. She doesn't feel joy. What she feels is something deeper, something quieter. Peace. The days after Mark's fall pass slowly. The resort is quiet again, but not in the same way. There are whispers among the staff. Guests talk in low voices. Everyone is waiting for answers. The search team continues to look for Mark's body, but the sea is wide, and the cliffs are dangerous. They don't find anything. Ashley stays calm. She talks politely to the police. She answers their questions again and again. She tells the same story each time. That Mark slipped, that he fell, and that she tried to help but couldn't reach him. Her voice never shakes. Her face never changes. She has practiced these words in her mind many times before coming here, and now she uses them, one by one, like steps in a plan. Some people believe she is in shock. Others believe she is brave. But no one sees what's really inside her. They don't see the thoughts running through her mind, or the weight she carries, or the cold fire behind her eyes. Ashley is not just surviving. She is watching, measuring, waiting for what happens next. She receives a call from Mark's family. They are sad and confused. They never knew about his secret marriage to Lily. They had only just accepted Ashley. Now they have lost Mark too. Ashley speaks kindly. She says she understands their pain. But deep inside, she wonders if they ever really knew him at all. If they knew what kind of man he was. The police finally return her things. They say they will continue to investigate, but for now, she is free to leave the resort. Ashley nods. She thanks them. She acts like a widow who is trying to stay strong. But inside, she is already thinking about her next move. Before leaving, she visits the cliff one last time. She stands at the same spot where Mark fell. She looks down at the sea, just like before. But this time, she feels something different. Not fear. Not sadness. She feels control. This is where the truth was finally seen. This is where lies ended. As she turns to leave, a voice speaks behind her. It's the same hotel staff member who gave her the old honeymoon photo. The woman stands quietly, holding something in her hand. She looks at Ashley, then steps forward. She says, "There's something I didn't tell the police. I think you should see it." Ashley feels her heart pause for a second, but she hides it. She smiles and asks what it is. The woman hands her a second photo. This one is older, faded at the edges. It shows Mark again, but this time with yet another woman. Not Lily, not Ashley, someone else. Ashley looks at the photo and then at the woman. The staff member says she found it while cleaning a locked drawer in the resort's office. She says she wasn't sure if it meant anything, but after everything that's happened, She thought it might matter. Ashley holds the photo. She looks at Mark's face. His fake smile. His arm around yet another woman. Her mind starts to turn again. Slowly, carefully. She asks the woman if she knows who the third woman is. The staff member says no. She says the photo is many years old. Ashley thanks her and walks away. But inside, something has changed. Her thoughts are no longer at rest. A new question has entered her mind. If Mark lied to her about Lily, could he have lied about others too? Was Lily really the first? Back in her room, Ashley sits with the photo in her lap. She stares at it. She studies the background, the date written in the corner, the necklace on the woman's neck. She starts making notes. She searches for small details, clues, signs. She opens her laptop and begins to type. She's no longer a grieving wife. She's a detective now. A tracker of secrets. A woman following the path of a man who lived behind many masks. A man who fooled more than one woman. A man who may have hidden more deaths, more lies, and more truths waiting to be uncovered. Ashley knows her story isn't over. Something darker might still be waiting. But she's not afraid anymore. She has already seen what monsters look like when they smile. She has already taken back her power. And now, she is ready to learn what other shadows Mark left behind. Ashley leaves the resort the next morning. She wears black, like a mourning widow. But her heart is not mourning. Her mind is working. Her thoughts are full. She carries the old photograph with her, the one that shows Mark with a third woman. Not her. Not Lily. Someone else. Unknown. Unnamed. On the plane ride home, Ashley does not sleep. She opens her laptop and begins her research. She zooms in on the photo. She studies the woman's face again and again. She looks at the background, the palm trees, the color of the curtains, the pattern on the chairs. She knows it's the same resort, the same place Mark took her, the same place he took Lily. Now she wonders, how many times had he been there? How many honeymoons did he plan? She uses face search tools and old social media databases. She checks the resort's tagged posts, customer reviews, and wedding announcements. It takes hours. But finally, she finds a name. Olivia, a woman from the north. Her profile is old and inactive. Her last photo is from 8 years ago. She was on vacation, smiling, standing in front of the same beach, and next to her, half cropped from the photo, is Mark. Different name. Same smile. Ashley clicks through the profile. She reads the comments. Olivia's friends had asked where she went. They had written messages like, "Call us when you're back," or "Miss you, girl." But after that vacation, Olivia was never seen again. Her profile stopped. No wedding photos. No updates. No replies. As if she vanished. Ashley digs deeper. She finds a missing person report in a small local newspaper. It says Olivia went to a coastal resort with her new boyfriend and never returned. The boyfriend's name? Daniel Carter. A name Ashley has never heard. But the photo shown in the article, it's clearly Mark. Another name. Another lie. Now Ashley is sure. Lily was not the first. Olivia came before. Maybe there were more. Maybe he had a system, a method, a type of woman he chose. Smart, lonely, wanting love. He gave them the dream. Then he disappeared with their lives, their money, or maybe something worse. Ashley starts building a timeline. She marks the dates. Olivia's trip, Lily's honeymoon, Ashley's wedding. She sees the pattern. It's always a resort. Always far from home. Always the same charming man with a different name. He married them. Lied to them. Used them. Then removed them when they became a problem. Her hands shake a little as she writes. Not because she is scared, but because she feels something powerful, rage. A cold, steady rage. The kind that sharpens your mind and hardens your heart. Mark had been planning these lies for years. He had played with lives like they were games. But now Ashley was the one playing. She begins to contact people. Quietly. Carefully. She calls Olivia's sister first. She introduces herself not as a stranger, but as another woman hurt by the same man. At first, the sister is silent. Then she begins to cry. She says no one ever believed Olivia's boyfriend was dangerous. There was never enough proof. The police had given up. But now, hearing Ashley's story, the sister believes everything. Ashley also finds a friend of Lily's. They had lost touch after Lily's death. Ashley tells her the full story. At first, the friend is shocked. But slowly, her voice turns angry too. She remembers strange things Lily had said. How Mark would act different in private. How he avoided sharing too much about his past. Piece by piece, Ashley is building something. A network of women. Of truths. Of broken lives that all connect back to one man, Mark or Daniel or whatever his real name was. She's not just trying to understand what happened anymore. She's hunting the past. She's trying to find out how many lies were told. And how many lives were destroyed before hers. In a quiet cafe, she sits with her notes, her photos, and her files. She looks around. The world seems normal. People drink coffee, talk on the phone, laugh. But Ashley knows the truth. Monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes, they wear wedding rings and give you flowers. Sometimes, they smile and say, "I love you," while hiding another woman's photo in their suitcase. And now, Ashley is not just a victim. She is the witness, the one with the story, the one who lived to tell it. She is getting closer to something bigger. She doesn't know where it ends, but she is ready to follow the trail wherever it goes. Ashley decides it's time to go deeper. She can't rely only on old photos and online profiles. If she wants the full truth, she must speak to someone from the resort. Someone who was there during all those visits. She calls the resort and books another stay. But this time, she uses a different name. Not Ashley. She wants to be invisible. She wants to watch, not be watched. When she arrives, she dresses simply. No bright colors, no flashy jewelry. She pretends to be a travel writer, someone reviewing the resort. This gives her an excuse to talk to the staff. She walks through the lobby, the restaurant, the gardens. She notices everything. The patterns, the faces, the way people move. She listens to conversations, watches which staff members have been there the longest, and which ones seem to know more than they say. She finally finds one, an old man named Carlos who works as a gardener. He has been at the resort for over 15 years. Ashley brings him coffee one morning and starts a casual talk. At first, he's careful with his words. But when she shows him the photo of Olivia, his hands stop moving. He looks at the picture for a long time. Then, softly, he says, "She was here." Ashley asks him when. He says it was many years ago. The woman came with a man named Daniel. Yes, he remembers the name. They seemed happy at first, laughing, holding hands. But something was strange. The woman once cried in the garden, near the fountain. Carlos had asked her if she was okay. She said yes, but her eyes were full of fear. Then, one day, she disappeared. Daniel told the staff she had gone home early because of a family emergency. But no one ever saw her leave. Ashley asks if anyone reported it. Carlos shakes his head. He says the resort is private, expensive, and tries to avoid police involvement. Besides, the man left a big tip, and people forgot quickly. People forget fast when money talks, Carlos says, but he didn't forget. He remembers the sadness in Olivia's eyes. Ashley thanks him and gives him a second photo. This one of Lily. Again, Carlos looks at it quietly. His eyes narrow. Yes, he says slowly. She was here too. That one. She died. Ashley asks how. He says he only heard gossip. The official story was that she slipped and hit her head while walking to the pool at night. But Carlos says she was not found near the pool. She was found near the rocks behind the garden, a place where guests don't usually go. There was blood, but no one talked about it much. Management handled it quietly. They didn't want bad press. Ashley feels a cold wave wash over her. 2 women. 2 lies. Same place. Same man. Same ending. She then asks one final question. Was there anyone else? Any other woman who came here with that man? Carlos nods slowly. Maybe one more, he says. He thinks hard. Dark hair. Very quiet. Came here about 10 years ago. Name started with M or N maybe. But she left quickly. I think she felt something was wrong. Ashley's mind races. A survivor? Someone who escaped? Someone who saw through Mark's mask before it was too late? She thanks Carlos again and leaves. She walks to the beach and sits alone. She watches the waves crash and pull back. So much is hidden under the surface. She thinks. The sea looks peaceful, but it can swallow anything. Lies, bodies, secrets. Ashley now knows that this resort is not a place of love or peace. It is a place of endings. A trap where Mark brought his brides to disappear. But not anymore. Not this time. She pulls out her notebook and writes everything down. She now has names, dates, locations, and testimonies. This is not just a personal mission anymore. It is something bigger. She is collecting truth. Truth that was buried under years of silence and smiles. Truth that the world needs to hear. She begins planning her next move. She must find the woman who escaped. The one Carlos remembered. Maybe that woman holds the final piece of the puzzle. Maybe she can tell Ashley what it's like to run away from the monster and survive. Ashley does not feel scared. She feels clear. She feels strong. The past is opening up in front of her like a map, and she is following every line, every clue. The truth is almost complete. Ashley now has a direction. She must find the woman who escaped. The one Carlos mentioned. That woman might be the only living person who can confirm Mark's pattern of crimes. Ashley goes back to her hotel room and begins her research. She knows the timeline. Carlos said it was around 10 years ago. A woman with dark hair, quiet, stayed for only a short time, and her name may have started with M or N. It's not a lot of information, but it's a start. She logs into public marriage records and hotel guest reviews from around that time. She looks through comments on travel websites, social media check-ins, any posts or photos shared by people who stayed at the resort during those years. She spends hours going through names, comparing faces, looking for a woman who was there but disappeared quietly. After many hours, Ashley finds something. On an old travel blog, there is a short entry titled, "Not All That Glitters," written by someone named Nina M. The writer described a short stay at a luxury resort where things felt off, and she left earlier than planned. No details. No pictures. Just a few careful lines. Ashley's heart beats faster. She keeps searching and finds a profile linked to the blog, but it has not been updated for years. Still, there is one email ID. Ashley sends a message. She introduces herself honestly. She writes carefully, explaining that she is looking into past events at the resort, and she thinks Nina might have information that could help. She mentions the names Olivia and Lily. She waits, not knowing if Nina will reply. 2 days later, a message arrives. Nina agrees to speak. She doesn't want to meet in person, but she agrees to a video call. Ashley prepares for it with care. She lists all her questions but keeps her tone gentle. When the call begins, she sees a woman with tired eyes and a serious face. Nina looks older than her age, like someone who has carried a heavy secret for too long. Nina speaks slowly, choosing her words with care. She says she met Mark, who introduced himself as Daniel, through a dating site. He was charming, well-spoken, and seemed deeply interested in her. Within months, they were planning a trip together. He said it was a romantic getaway, possibly the start of something serious. He even talked about marriage. At the resort, things began well. But soon, Nina noticed strange behavior. He disappeared at odd times. He kept his phone hidden. He avoided conversations about his past. One night, she overheard him on the phone. He was angry, talking to someone about covering it up and making sure the story stays clean. When she asked him about it, he became cold, even aggressive. The next day, she decided to leave. She told the staff there was a family emergency, booked her own flight, and never contacted him again. Ashley listens carefully. She tells Nina that Olivia and Lily didn't make it out. She shares what Carlos said. Nina closes her eyes. She says she always felt she had escaped something dark, but she wasn't sure how dark. Now she knows. Ashley asks her one more thing. Why didn't she report it back then? Nina says she was scared. Mark had money, connections, and charm. She had no proof, and part of her blamed herself for not seeing the signs earlier. She buried it and moved on. But now, she says, she wants to help. Ashley thanks her deeply. She asks if Nina is willing to write a full statement. Nina agrees. She even offers to speak to the police if it comes to that. Ashley feels a strong sense of progress. Finally, someone else is standing beside her in this fight for truth. That night, Ashley opens her notebook and reviews everything. She now has a timeline of Mark's marriages, clear links between the victims, and now a living witness who escaped. But one piece remains. The final part of her plan. The reason she came back to this place pretending to rekindle her marriage. It's not just about exposing Mark anymore. It's about finishing what he started, with him as the final victim. Ashley now has everything she needs. She has the photos, the timeline, the names of the other women, and most importantly, a living witness, Nina, who is ready to speak out. But even with all this, she knows it won't be enough to bring Mark down through legal means. He's too smart, too well-connected. He hides behind charm, fake documents, and fake names. People believe him because he always has a story ready. He can slip through the cracks of the law. So Ashley makes her decision. She will not wait for justice to come to Mark. She will bring it to him. She begins setting the stage. First, she acts normal, loving, calm. She takes Mark on a hike near the cliffs, just like they did on their first honeymoon. She says she wants to take pictures, to make memories. Mark believes her. He has no reason to suspect that Ashley knows the truth. He thinks the hotel's mistake was just that, a mistake. He still believes he is in control. Later, she suggests they go kayaking in the early morning, when the water is quiet. She says it will be romantic. She smiles, plays her part well. Mark agrees. He likes the idea. That night, Ashley prepares her bag. She places her phone, a USB drive with all the evidence, and a letter in a waterproof pouch. She seals it carefully and hides it in the locked drawer in their room. She sends one final message to Nina with a simple instruction. If she doesn't contact her by evening, go to the police with everything. The next morning, the sky is clear. Ashley and Mark get into the kayak. They paddle far away from the beach, to where the cliffs rise over the water. Ashley takes photos, laughs, pretends to be in love. But deep inside, she is counting every second. She watches Mark's body language, waiting for the right moment. When they reach the farthest point, she tells him she wants a picture with the cliffs behind them. He agrees, turning slightly to pose. That's when Ashley strikes. She pushes hard. The kayak tilts. Mark loses balance. He falls into the cold water, surprised, splashing, confused. He tries to grab the edge of the kayak, but Ashley keeps pushing him down. He panics, starts shouting, but there is no one around. Ashley holds him under the water. He fights, but she holds firm. This is for Olivia, for Lily, for every woman he used and left. When Mark stops moving, Ashley lets go. She breathes heavily, staring at the water. Then, she tips the kayak completely, making it look like an accident. She swims back slowly, reaches the shore, and collapses on the sand. People run toward her. She tells them with shaking voice that her husband fell and never came back up. Search teams are sent out, but the body isn't found that day. Ashley sits silently as they ask questions. She cries at the right moments. No one doubts her. Later, back in her room, she opens the drawer and takes out the waterproof pouch. She looks at the photos, the evidence, the letter. She keeps them safe. She knows she might still need them one day. Nina sends her a message. I saw the news. Are you okay? Ashley replies, I am now. In the end, Mark is reported as missing, presumed drowned. The resort is never able to explain the pattern of deaths around him, but they quietly increase security and stop promoting romantic getaway packages. Ashley leaves the resort alone, not as a widow, not as a victim, but as a survivor who rewrote the ending. She doesn't forget the other women. She keeps their names close to her heart. And she begins writing her story, not for fame, not for attention, but to warn others, to tell them that monsters sometimes wear wedding rings. The Second Honeymoon was never about saving a marriage. It was about ending a nightmare. And Ashley did exactly that. That's the end of the story. If you enjoyed the story, please like, share, and subscribe for more exciting tales. Check out our other videos and share your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for the next adventure. Thanks for watching.